Vice! You dumbass! Start making sense, you rotten book, or you're gonna be sorry. Maybe I'll rip your pages out one by one, or maybe I'll put you in the goddamn furnace! How can someone with such a big smart brain get hypnotized like a little bitch, huh? Oh, Shadow Lord, I love you, Shadow Lord. Come over here and give Vice a big sloppy kiss, Shadow Lord. Now pull your head out of your goddamn ass and start fucking helping us! Vice! You dumbass! Start making sense, you rotten book, or you're gonna be sorry. Maybe I'll rip your pages out one by one, or maybe I'll put you in the goddamn furnace. How can someone with such a big smart brain get hypnotized like a little bitch, huh? Oh, Shadow Lord, I love you, Shadow Lord. Come over here and give Vice a big sloppy kiss, Shadow Lord. Now pull your head out of your goddamn ass and start fucking helping us! Vice, you dumbass! Start making sense, you rotten book, or you're gonna be sorry. Maybe I'll rip your pages out one by one, or maybe I'll put you in the goddamn furnace. How can someone with such a big smart brain get hypnotized like a little bitch, huh? Oh, Shadow Lord, I love you, Shadow Lord. Come over here and give Vice a big sloppy kiss, Shadow Lord. Now pull your head out of your goddamn ass and start fucking helping us!
So you've decided to just stay up super late, Swede? Is that the method to the madness now? Happy Wednesday, right? I think it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Or Thursday if you're in Sweden. Whichever. Oh. So, just as a heads up for Swede chick, this starts about halfway through the game. So there'll be stuff that's happened that you won't know unless you've watched some of the VODs. Because Route B just backs up about halfway and then picks up from there again. Just to warn you. Just to warn you. She forgot to go to bed. Yeah, it happens, right?
Whenever I interacted with Kaine, I was reminded about something from my past. Maybe my mind has been confusing her with my sister this whole time. Here we go.
We knew this because we watched this cutscene last time. Nah, Hide's fine. Like the hat. The sound of rain filled the village. We're gonna start off with Zork, it looks like. The steep cliffs that surrounded the area magnified sound, causing even the slightest drizzle to rattle like a thunderstorm. Thin wisps of smoke streamed from huts as the villagers huddled in their homes and waited for the rain. A single child, however, had braved the downpour and was now wandering slowly toward the wooden hawk-shaped weather vane at the center of town. The wanderer reached the vane, which had existed for as long as any could remember, and stared. The child's face was simultaneously delicate and fierce, like a teacup that had survived a shipwreck. Those traits combined with pale white skin to give the face an almost sexless quality. If the beak turns east, I go home. If it stays west, then I. The child blinked. Rain slowly dripped down the young one's short hair and began its long descent to the ground. Come on. Come on. The child felt a slight breeze and watched as the vein slowly creaked to life. Spinning this way and that for a moment, finally settled the beak pointing firmly toward the east. East? Really? Before the vein could move again, a jagged rock came spinning and tumbling through the air, finally striking home against the child's head. The force of the blow dropped the child to the ground as a hail of stones began to fall all around. Oh no, they found me. A heartbreaking smile crept across the child's face as the stones continued their assault. Through the rain, the sound of multiple footsteps grew louder before a voice rang out. Yoo-hoo, Kaine! The voice belonged to Demo, worst of all of the bullies in the Eyrie. As Kaine struggled to stand, a final stone came skittering through the mud and bounced against her foot. Blood oozed from a cut above her eye and blurred her vision, but she could make out the shapes of Demo and his usual gang of idiots. The boy seemed taken aback for a moment by Kaine's seeming indifference to the blood dripping from her face, but quickly regained his bravado. What's up, freak? You like the rain? You like getting all wet? Or did you finally decide to run away from home? Though she knew it was futile, Kaine turned to leave. Before she could get more than a few steps, the other children scrambled to surround her, cruelty burning in their eyes. Kaine knew those were not the only eyes on her. The tormentor's parents watched from the safety of their homes. She was attuned to the sensation. It was one she has experienced many times before. While some villagers simply turned a blind eye to the actions of their children, many encouraged it openly. In a society ruled by superstition and fear, Kaine was something to be hated and, if possible, destroyed. I didn't say you could leave, freak. Demo's words chewed at her like a worm through an apple. He can't hurt me, she lied to herself. Be strong, be brave. He can't hurt me, he can't hurt me, he can't hurt. Oh, look, the little freak's gonna cry. What's wrong? Are you sad that everyone hates you and wants you dead? Man, this is like the worst bullying I've ever read in my life. Or seen. Whichever. Kaine prayed for the rain to flood down and carry her away from a world that seemed to have no place for her. But if there were gods, they chose to ignore her. As Demo crept closer, the clouds began to thin and the rain slowed. Even the weather hates me. I'm useless, a failure. I wish Demo's rock had taken my head off. Kaine couldn't meet Demo's leering gaze. She lowered her eyes and stared at the muddy ground below. The bully moved forward until he was inches away. She could smell the scent of old meat on his breath. The Eyrie ends up in a very bad shape. The Eyrie is the town we go to that has a suspension bridge and everybody's hiding inside their house and being super scared of everything. So it wasn't always like that, but it gets there sometime before we meet Kaine and she grows up. The boy grabbed Kaine's face with thick fingers and yanked it upward. She tried to turn away, but he forced her gaze back and jammed his thumb against her eyelid to pry it open. You're a freak. No, I'm not. Did you just say no? Demo grinned evilly. You don't say no to me. No one says no to me. Not even taking his attention from Kaine, he called to his cohorts. Come on, guys, let's give this freak what she deserves. As soon as Demo finished, his kicks and blows began to rain down upon Kaine. Demo paused, still grinning, as Kaine curled into a ball and tried to make the pain stop. I don't get you, freak. What you acting like a girl for, huh? Everyone knows what you really are. Kaine ignored the question. choosing instead to stare at the weather vane, continued to point east, as if supremely confident about the future it had chosen for her. Go home? Yeah, that's a funny joke for someone with dead parents and no home to go to. Freak, chanted the children. Freak, freak, freak. Kaine closed her eyes and listened to the rain, waiting for the pain to start again. As the clutching hands of the village children closed around her, she bent her mind to the sound of the rain, letting it become her world entire. The rain fell, but the pain never came. Only when the laughter of her tormentors turned to terrified cries did she open a single blood-caked eye. Kaine was shocked to see Demo sprawled on the ground, holding his head and screaming in pain. She could see blood welling from the space between his fat, twisted fingers. Oh my god, he's crying. He's actually crying. Deprived of their leader, the other children glanced back and forth between themselves, as if waiting for someone to step forward and take charge. When no savior emerged, they began to uneasily shuffle away from Kaine. But the young girl was the least of their concerns. Instead, their attention was wrapped on the ancient woman standing a few feet away. After struggling for breath for a moment, she finally spoke in a voice thick with rage. Hurts like a bitch, don't it? Now I suggest you scatter before I throw another one. And if any of you little bastards ever touch my Kaine again, I'll do far worse than throw a rock. You can count on it. The old woman crouched down and gently touched the hand Demo was using to cover the wound. Before he could think to protest, she ground her palm into the wound and twisted it back and forth. Ow, he screamed, leaping to his feet. Stop it, what are you doing? Quit whining, ain't no one ever died from a scratch. You hit me with a rock, you stupid bitch. A big one, that thing could have killed me. The old woman shrugged. Death is the best cure for stupid. Demo's face twisted with rage at her words. Locking his eyes on Kaine, he took a step backward and spat on the ground. Get out, leave this village, no one wants you here, either of you. Seeing the old woman grab another stone, Demo and his companions turned tail and ran. As they fled, the old woman grabbed her side and barked out a single laugh. Ha, look at the fat boy go. Guess he's healthy enough to run from a fight. The woman's smile faded as she turned her attention to Kaine. Kneeling down, she removed her shawl and placed it around the young girl's shoulders, then produced a cloth from the folds of her dress and began blotting at the blood on her forehead. Oh, Kaine, she said, why didn't you fight back? You're stronger than that lot. The words of her grandmother stung Kaine, and she turned away. Don't be nice to me, she said. I don't deserve it. Nothing matters anymore. Her tears, held in check for so long, finally began to fall on the muddy ground below. Everyone hates me. They think I cause bad things to happen. They think I'm a freak. I wish I was dead. As Kaine's tears turned to sobs, she felt her grandmother's hands on her shoulders. Despite her advanced age and diminutive size, she was a woman of surprising strength, and Kaine found herself unable to turn away. Don't talk like that, Kaine. It's a river wide and deep that flows between the realms of this world and the next, and it grants no mercy to any that attempt to cross it. You gotta do to fight until your last breath. Understand? The old woman tightened her grip and tried to still the tremor in her voice. You know the pain of losing someone close to you, Kaine. You know because you survived it. As the words hit home, Kaine was struck by the force of her love for the old woman. As a young child, she didn't even know of her grandmother, but when her parents died, the woman quickly accepted her as her own. Grandma, as Kaine called her, was cunning, vulgar, and quick to violence, and their first few years together had not been easy. But with each year that passed, Kaine and her grandmother had grown closer. However, it was only now, sitting in the mud with tears and blood caking her face, that Kaine truly understood the depths of her affection. Here was a woman who had seen hard times, who had seen death, who had fought through all these things, and somehow emerged on the other side. If anyone could understand Kaine's pain and loneliness, it was her. Do I make you sick, Grandma? Of course not. Don't be an ass. I like her. Kaine drew her grandmother's moth-eaten shawl around her body and shuddered. But my body, it's not normal. If I was normal, then Mom and Dad wouldn't. Hush, interrupted Grandma. I'll not hear another word of this nonsense. You're my granddaughter, and I love you, and if folks have a problem with that, they could just go to hell. With that, the old woman reached out and placed a wreath of dried flowers in Kaine's hair. The skill it took to bend the flowers without breaking the stems or losing a single petal was remarkable, and the beauty of it made Kaine want to cry all over again. Oh my gosh, these are lunar tears. Grandma, you made this for me? Lunar tears were legendary flowers. Most people could live their entire lives without ever seeing one, and yet her grandmother had somehow collected a dozen or more. Kaine reached up and touched a wreath as if she couldn't believe it was real. Well, where did you find these? Oh, you know, just stumbled on them one day while I was out doing the shopping. The old woman turned away as she was explaining, leading Kaine to suspect that the search had been much more difficult than she was letting on. The pains she took to construct the ornament, let alone track down the flowers used in its construction, made Kaine's heart hurt. She reached up and gently adjusted the wreath, admiring the way it felt between her fingers. Didn't quite turn out right, said her grandmother as she squinted at it. These old hands have trouble with delicate work, but it sure looks good on a pretty girl like you. Kaine blushed and turned away. You think I'm pretty? Of course you are. What a fool thing to say. Thank you, Grandma. Her grandmother smiled. We're gonna be fine, you and me, she said. As long as we got each other, we'll be just fine. Kaine took her grandmother's hand in hers, and the two of them struggled to their feet. As they began the long walk home, Kaine gripped the hand with all of her might, as if trying to stop smoke from drifting away on the wind. The rain had stopped. Kaine stood beneath the weather vane, watching it spin in lazy circles, no longer caring about the direction it faced when it stopped. I don't need to escape. I have a home now. Grandma loves me, and that's enough. Even if it's us against the world. Kaine let her gaze drift up past the vane and into the cloudy sky. The last faint hints of a rainbow were slowly fading. As she turned and headed for home, the light scattered into a million particles and vanished, seemingly taken away on the breeze. We have apparently a small novel to read before we get started playing today. So the way dreams are done in this game, we had a whole village full of dreams earlier, are big, bold, white text on a black background. It's a stylistic choice. I'm gonna take a drink and then I'll start reading again. In the distance, Kaine heard the steady sounds of an axe striking wood. The noise had a purposeful quality to it, as if she was hearing a master woodsman go about his work. The firewood being produced, however, was as far from a work of art as could be. Pieces of every shape and size were being flung about a barren yard with wild abandon. Anyone trying to stack such wood would probably die of frustration before the job was through. Stupid piece of shit axe. Kaine's grandmother flailed away with the axe, filling the air both with splinters of wood and words that would make the most hardened sailor blush. Grandma, called Kaine. What? Yelled the old woman, taking her eyes off the wood for a moment. Oh, it's you, Kaine. Don't get too close or I might take your goddamn foot off by mistake. She brought the axe down on a piece of wood, sending chips flying in every direction. One spun past Kaine's close enough for her to hear the whistle, at which point she decided to step back. Once she'd scuttled to a safe distance, she cupped her hands around her mouth and shouted, Grandma, do you need help? Do you need help? I can get you water or lunch or a new axe or something. The axe, poised to strike another wobbly blow, paused in midair. The old woman considered her granddaughter's offer for a moment, then smiled. Tell you what, since I'm doing such a piss-poor job of chopping, why don't you come here and take over so I can go get the water? Shades have been restless lately, you know, and I don't want you running into one of them bastards. Relinquishing the axe, her grandmother picked up a long pole with wooden buckets on either end. Gathering water was by far the more difficult of the two jobs, but Kaine knew better than to complain. Once Grandma's mind was set, there was no changing it. Kaine did her best to help with the chores, but Grandma took every task that required travel to the village. Though she had a long list of plausible excuses, Kaine knew the real reason. She didn't want her granddaughter to be taunted and harassed by the villagers. Once Kaine moved in, Grandmother decided to take up residence a good distance from the Eyrie. Out of sight, out of mind seemed to be the best policy when it came to the villagers and her granddaughter, and rare were the days when any but the two of them could be found on the rocky acre of land they called home. Kaine enjoyed the solitude, but harbored a secret resentment that her grandmother was forced to spend her golden years in such a place. After watching her grandmother leave, Kaine turned her attention to the task at hand. She had never chopped wood before in her life, and soon discovered why the old woman hated the chore. Swing after swing of the axe produced only a tiny crack in the wood, and when she finally managed to connect with a solid stroke, the tool embedded itself in the log and refused to budge. Frustrated, Kaine swung the axe around her head and threw it, log and all, across the yard. Damn it. Ugh, crap. She suddenly understood the joy her grandmother felt in a good curse. Happier now, she picked up the axe, forced it from the wood, and resumed chopping. She had a natural skill with a blade, but the task was challenging, and blisters soon began to form in her small pink hands. This is tough. And my logs are all weird sizes. Spitting on her palms and ignoring the pain, Kaine redoubled her efforts. Just as she was developing a rhythm, Grandma returned from the village. Setting down her buckets with a small sigh, she took one look at the logs and coughed out a wheezy laugh. Pretty clumsy, girl. You better practice if you... Her grandmother suddenly collapsed to her knees, causing one of the buckets to wobble precariously. I think we know what's happening here, probably. Eyes wide, Kaine dropped the axe and ran to her grandmother's side. Grandma! The old woman shook her head and pointed to a trembling finger at the bucket. Get the bucket. Can't let it spill. Kaine steadied the bucket with a foot as she knelt by her grandmother. A small bit of water sloshed over the side and made a new home in the hem of her dress, but Kaine didn't notice. Grandma, what's happening? Crazed with panic, she grabbed her grandmother by the shoulders and shook. After a moment, the woman lifted her arms and batted Kaine away. Stop that. Just stop now, she cried, breathing heavily. It ain't like I'm dying. Just tired from the trip is all. Kaine desperately wanted to believe her, but one look at the old woman's shaking hands and worn face told her more than words ever could. Her grandmother had lived a long, hard life, and it seemed the bill was coming due. The time when her grandmother watched over Kaine was ending. Sooner than either of them had feared, the positions would be reversed. The next morning, Kaine came to the side of her grandmother's bed and took her wrinkled hand. Grandma, you're sick and you need medicine. I'm going to the village. The old woman shook her head and tried to rise, but Kaine gently pushed her down. It's all right, she said. I'll be fine. Her grandmother fixed her with a gaze that could melt steel. After what seemed an eternity, she finally lowered her eyes and sighed. Well, I don't like it, goddammit. But I guess I should quit being so stubborn and let you grow up. The woman watched as Kaine strapped on her boots and made her way down the road to the village. Hours later, as an unseen sun made its way across the dark and rainy sky, she was still watching. Kaine moved at a brisk pace, checking her pockets every few minutes to make sure the money her grandmother gave her was still there. Every noise caused her to spin on her heels, making sure she wasn't being stalked by a shade, or worse, Demo and his gang. But she encountered neither tormentors nor shades, and Kaine finally found herself at the entrance to the village. The few adults she could see glanced sideways at her, then muttered to each other behind raised hands before slinking away into the shadows. Her heart racing, Kaine took a series of rapid, shallow breaths and tried to calm herself. I have to prove myself. I have to help Grandma. I have to be strong. She chanted those words to herself over and over as she slowly made her way. Finally, her eyes settled on a rotund older woman who was angrily waving her arms in the air and telling anyone who would listen exactly what she thought of Kaine's presence. "Hey, lady," said Kaine with a bravado she did not feel. "Where's the apothecary?" The woman's flabby cheeks shook in bewildered anger. "How dare this thing speak to me?" they seemed to say, but Kaine saw her eyes had a different emotion. Fear. "Yeah, we're both scared, lady. Trust me on this one." "Which way?" Kaine repeated. The woman pointed at a small building to her right before hitching up her dress and stumbling off in the other direction. Kaine cringed, expecting a stone to come flying from the assembled crowd, but none came. Her mind was filled with a strange sense of pride as she made her way to the apothecary, but the new emotion had little time to take root, for as soon as she opened the door, she noticed a familiar customer at the counter. It was Demo. He'd been clearly sent here on some kind of family errand, because his gang of followers were nowhere to be found. Oh my gosh, he sputtered. "I mean, what are you doing here, freak?" The insult was delivered without force, and Kaine happily ignored it. Stretching on tiptoes to see over the counter, she asked the shopkeeper for the medication. "Ha!" barked Demo. That's a lot of trash, you're right. The old bitch finally keel over. Kaine punches him in the face, I hope. "Go to hell, Demo. I'll take it." The boy's eyes grew so wide they seemed ready to fall off his head, but before he could let fly a comeback, or worse, a punch, the apothecary told them to knock it off before he kicked them out of the store. Demo slunk out of the shop, cursing Kaine under his breath. Once he was gone, she allowed herself to breathe once more, taking a brief tour of the shop while the owner prepared her medication. Countless tiny bottles filled the cramped store, each with a label written in some indecipherable language. An ocean of aromas assaulted her nose, creating a scent that was exotic but not altogether unpleasant. Seeing such a variety of supplies gave Kaine a sense of peace. Surely, in a world so vast, there would be a place that she could call home. On the far wall behind the counter rested a portrait of a stunning young girl. The picture had once contained bright, vibrant colors, but time had worked its magic, and they were beginning to fade. The beauty of the work, however, remained undiminished. "Do you like that picture?" Kaine turned to find the apothecary with a small vial of medicine in his hand. His eyes were gentle but sad, and they seemed to stare through her into nothing as he spoke. "That's my daughter. I sketched it when she was just a little girl. She's been dead for a long time now." Kaine didn't know how to respond. She just stared at the portrait and tried to come up with the right words. "Pictures are wonderful things," continued the shopkeeper. "They let the ones closest to you live forever." He shook his head slightly, then looked down at Kaine and smiled. Handing her the medicine, he reached into a sizable green apron and produced a handful of old wax crayons. "You should have these. There's no one left I wish to draw." Kaine took an instinctive step backwards, causing the shopkeeper's face to darken. Yes, I've heard the rumors about you," he said. "It's a small village, and word travels quickly. Between you and me, I'm not sure which of them to believe, but I also don't think they matter much. I knew your grandmother, Kali, and I think the way she was driven out of this town is just deplorable." Grandma's name is Kali, thought Kaine suddenly. She was still mulling this new fact over her mind as she reached out and gently took the crayons from the apothecary's hands. "Your grandmother's an old friend of mine," he said as Kaine scooted away yet again, "and I owe her much. I'm willing to wager that she would like it if you drew a picture of her." "Yes, I think she would like that very much." Kaine murmured a quiet agreement, but inside her heart was bursting. Never before had a villager treated her with anything but complete contempt. It was a tiny, almost imperceptible step, but it was a step nonetheless, and with enough tiny steps, she might one day discover the rest of the world. When Kaine returned home, she found her grandmother asleep in her bed. Her feet were blackened and raw, even bleeding a bit in places, leading Kaine to think that she had been pacing around the room until exhaustion finally caught up with her. She placed the medicine by her grandmother's pillow and turned to leave, but found the old woman's hand clasped around her arm. "Back already, are you?" asked her grandmother with a yawn. "Come here, let me have a look at you." Grandma sat up and examined Kaine from head to toe. Finally satisfied that nothing terrible would befallen her grandchild, she leaned back and allowed herself to relax. Well, and how was it? Did those bastards give you any trouble? It was kind of fun, said Kaine with a small smile. No, seriously, it was. It was fun, was it? Asked her grandmother in a voice which she implied she believed anything but. Uh-huh, so anytime you need me to run an errand, just let me know. As she spoke, Kaine removed the crayons from her pocket. After a brief explanation of their source, she informed her grandmother that she was going to sketch her portrait. A portrait of me? Ridiculous. No one wants to stare at a wrinkled old crone. But Grandma, it'd make you live forever. Horse manure, said her grandmother, throwing back the sheet from her bed. Living forever just pissed me off. Now put those crayons away and help me with dinner. But Kaine would not relent, and in the end, Grandma found herself leaning against the wall of their house, as if posing for a master artist. Kaine took up the crayons and eyed the subject carefully. Just as her grandma was about to nod off, Kaine finished her work. After staring at it for a bit, she released it from her grip and let it slowly drift to the floor. It's terrible. It doesn't look like you at all. I'm sorry, Grandma. I thought these crayons would, make drawing easy or something. The old woman's eyes narrowed at her granddaughter's disappointment. Let me be the judge of that, she said, ignoring the pain in her back and reaching for the paper. The sketch could have been a person's face. It could also have been a boulder, a lump of clay, or an incredibly misshapen loaf of bread, all rendered in a chaotic array of colors. The old woman stared at the picture for a long time, then slowly wheezed out a laugh. Oh, Kaine, she said, between laughter. You truly are my blood. You're as clumsy as me, and I love it. But, hush, I won't hear any more bull about how ugly you think it is. It came from the heart, and I'll treasure it always. True to her word, the old woman gave the picture a place of honor above the kitchen table. In the days that followed, Kaine would often catch her staring at the portrait with a strange smile on her face. An action she interpreted as silent mocking laughter. A week later, Kaine could stand it no more and asked her grandmother to take the artwork down. Posh, said the old woman. I'll take this down when they roll me in my shroud. She pondered this for a bit and then turned to Kaine and dropped to one knee. Listen to me, girl. Seeing this picture makes me happy in a way I've never felt before. And it makes me want to go on, so that someday you can feel the same happiness. It was a moment that burned itself in Kaine's memory, a perfect blend of pride and love and joy that came together to form a lifelong remembrance. She swore to never forget this moment, to never forget the old woman who had made her place in the world possible. Time moves on. People and memories come in and out of life like ghosts passing through a hall, but this moment will be different, Kaine swore, because I will remember it forever. Forever. Man, we have another one. Well, so she was a statue for 5 years. That's a lot of time to dream. But, oh boy. Another drink. I've always said it mishappened. I don't know why. It's just the first way I read it, probably, it's stuck in my head forever, and I doubt I will ever change it. I apologize. Kaine listened to the sound of crackling firewood and stared at the black object on her plate. She'd been pushing it around the wooden disc for a good 10 minutes, ignoring the bemused stare of her grandmother. Finally, she summoned her courage and gave the object a brief sniff. A sharp, bitter scent flew up to her nostrils and made its home there, causing her face to twist with disgust. Grandma, I can't believe you want me to eat a bug. The old woman threw some more wood under the cooking pot and snorted. It's no bug, you fool girl. It's a berry. Why in the hell would I be feeding you bugs? Yeah, she likes a bug, said Kaine. I think it's burnt or something because it smells terrible. With that, Kaine held her nose and threw the berry in her mouth, chewing as little as possible. Oh yeah, that's terrible, all right. Why, you little brat, laughed the old woman. Look at this sass on you. You've been spending too much time with me, and that's a fact. 5 years had passed since the moment when Kaine's grandmother saved her from the bullies. As is often the way with two stubborn people, their relationship had grown in fits and starts, but moved forward all the same. Meals that used to be somber affairs were now filled with laughter and hurled abuse in equal measure. Kaine could not remember a time when she had been happier. As the years went by, Kaine started to shoulder more and more of the daily responsibilities. Her grandmother's legs grew weaker by the day. She could no longer do many of the chores that she used to take for granted. The name of this chapter is Separation. Grandma almost certainly dies in this chapter. Just to warn you. I don't know. I've never read it before. I'm just guessing. And so this morning found Kaine lacing up her work boots with a breakfast of burned berry rolling through her belly. "Where are you going today?" asked Grandma suddenly. Kaine looked up, surprised. The old woman rarely asked for specifics anymore. "Well, I was going to go check out the kilma trees and see if they were ripe. I thought we could make some jam or something. Oh, and I'm going to go pick up some flagstones, so I need to take the wheelbarrow." "Flagstones? What the hell for?" Kaine stared at her grandmother, then held on an arm and swept it around their home. Constructed mostly of cloth, rope, and rubble, the old place sagged like a boxer in the final round. "Grandma, a dying cat could chew through this house. I'm going to build a stone wall so we have some protection." The old woman laughed, exposing her toothless grin to the world. "God damn, girl, if a bunch of thieves want to ransack this old place, let them come. We got nothing worth stealing anyway." "Not worried about thieves, I'm worried about shades. People saw one west of the village yesterday." The old woman tilted her head and stared at her granddaughter. "Well, shoot, I don't know why you have to do it today. We could worry about it some other." "Grandma, no. If I don't go to the kelma trees, we won't eat tonight. You know that." A confused expression passed across the old woman's face, and for a moment she was a small child lost at a carnival. "Yes," she said, after a bit. "Yes, of course, you're right. I'm sorry, Kaine. Lately seems my mind does." She didn't finish the thought, instead walking over to her nightstand and gently taking the wreath of lunar tears from the drawer. The flower's petals had aged to a brilliant whiteness, and Kaine thought it was more beautiful now than the day she first received it. "You're going to be a true woman soon," Grandma said as she placed the flowers in the girl's hair. "So that means less chatter about shades and building defensive walls and more about how beautiful you've become." Annoyed, Kaine reached up to remove the garland, but the look on her grandmother's face stopped her hand. "You're a beautiful thing," said the old woman, "and there ain't another like you in all the world. I'm very proud of you." "Okay, Grandma, that's enough goddamn compliments for one day." "Such a mouth on you. Where did that come from?" "Gee, I wonder." "I'll teach you to sass me, girl," yelled Grandma. Suddenly, she lurched forward and grabbed Kaine by the ears, pulling her around the room with a crazed grin on her face. "Grandma," yelled Kaine in a quaking voice. "Grandma, stop it. What the hell?" The old woman stared at her and blinked, then slowly held her wrinkled hands out as if it's the first time she had ever seen them. Oh, I don't know what happened there. I'm sorry, girl. Sometimes my mind just..." Kaine thought the look on her grandmother's face was the most heartbreaking thing she had ever seen. "Listen," she began. "Maybe I should stay home after all." "No, I won't have you stay here to keep an eye on an old codger like me. You go and get your fruit and your wall and whatnot. I'll be fine. And when you come back, I'll have a nice grasshopper dinner waiting for you." Kaine rolled her eyes, then kissed her grandmother on the forehead and made ready to depart, trying desperately to ignore the worry that was gnawing at the walls of her heart. Kaine could feel the old woman's eyes watching her as she moved down the path. Don't turn around, she told herself, but in the end the temptation was too great. She spun on her foot for one final look and saw a small bent woman standing in front of a ramshackle hut with a sad expression on her face. God, she looked so old now. It's like the wind could reach down and just carry her away. Kaine worried about her grandmother all day, causing her work to suffer. What little fruit she could collect was tossed carelessly into the wheelbarrow, and she only found a couple of stones before losing interest in the project. Finally, as dusk approached, she decided to call it a day. Cursing herself for the lack of focus, Kaine pushed a near empty wheelbarrow back down the path. As she crossed the final hill, she suddenly froze in place. The wheelbarrow fell from her fingers and collapsed on its side, sending a few pieces of wrinkled brown fruit rolling back down the hill. Her gaze was transfixed by the thick black cloud that hovered just ahead. Tracing its path with a finger, Kaine suddenly felt her stomach knot in on itself. Oh God, no. Oh gods, no. Her grandmother's house was ablaze, the flames licking up as if trying to touch the sky itself. Grandma? Grandma? Kaine ran then, faster than she had ever moved in her life. Once she tripped on a stone and went sprawling into the rocky ground. But she leapt to her feet and continued running, unmindful of the blood that spilled from her wounded hands and knees. As she got closer and closer, Kaine's mind began to race in time with her footfalls. It's too dark. It's too dark, not just fire. Can't be fire, too much smoke. Gotta save her, gotta save her. She burst into the front yard and came to a sudden halt, her worst suspicions confirmed. The smoke from the fire was mingled with the thick, inky blackness of an enormous shade. The massive creature supported itself on 3 twisted feet and achieved balance through means of a large armored tail. Scales, horns, and claws sprouted from the body in a random chaotic pattern, giving it the appearance of a lizard designed by some insane god. Seeing Kaine, it let out a roar and flicked its tail, sending small whirlwinds spinning around the yard. For a moment, the creature retreated into a shimmering, inky blackness, as if her mind was unable to comprehend that such a thing could actually exist. But then the smell hit her, a blend of rotten meat and excrement, and the horror became real once more. The creature bellowed again, and this time Kaine responded with a scream of her own. All right, you bastards, she thought as her scream echoed off the high cliffs around them. It's you or me. Let's go. The shade eyed Kaine with bemused interest. Then it began looking from her to the house and back again, as if urging her to look at the destruction it so gleefully wrought. With dread building in her heart, Kaine glanced towards the house. Through the smoke and flame, she spotted a small figure struggling to escape the ruins. Grandma! At the sound of her voice, the old woman began waving frantically. She's alive, thought Kaine. She's alive! Kaine's legs sprang to life as she raced across the yard towards the flaming wreckage of the house. Before she could advance more than a few steps, the shade opened its mouth and let out a roar powerful enough to uproot trees and send them flying. The blast sent Kaine tumbling through the air before smashing her against the rocky earth. Stars danced in front of her eyes as she tried to remember how her legs worked. Get up. Get up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up now. As Kaine struggled to her feet, the shade stomped toward her, the house, and pinned her grandmother to the ground with the tip of a claw. The old woman struggled to move the claw from her stomach, but she might as well have been pushing a mountain. She coughed briefly, sending a small spray of blood into the air, then collapsed to the ground, her energy spent. Kaine lurched to her feet only to fall back to the earth with a gasp. Her ankles were on fire. One or both of them were surely broken. Ignoring the pain that screamed through her body, she began dragging herself across the ground, leaving a drunken trail of dust and blood in her wake. Grandma, hold on. Just a little longer. Her grandmother's face was turning blue, her eyes rolling back until only their whites were exposed. Kaine pulled herself across the ground with maddening slowness, the distance seeming to increase with every second that passed. The shade glanced between the two women and flicked out its tongue, its giant mouth turning up at the corners. Short, panting breaths belched from somewhere deep inside its core. Bastard, laughing at us. She had no idea how such a mindless creature could experience emotion, but there could be no doubt that the shade was taking joy in their suffering. You actually did disappear off the viewer list for a second. I didn't know if you fell asleep or what happened. Welcome back. Yeah, I see your plan. The shade moved its claw slightly, allowing Grandma to breathe again. It was clearly keeping her alive, only to snuff out her life when Kaine was close enough to touch her. I'm gonna kill this bastard. Summoning all her strength, Kaine rose to her feet. There was a sickening snap from her right ankle as the foot twisted backward, but she forced it from her mind and began to hobble towards the monster. Pulling a small knife from the pouch at her waist, she leapt on the foot that pinned her grandmother and plunged the weapon deep. "Give her back," she screamed. "Give her back to me." It was like stabbing a rock. After a few swipes, the knife broke at the hilt with a dull snap. The shade panted laughter again, and then raised its tail and sent it rushing through the air toward the young girl that was latched at its foot. Kaine had never had a chance. The tail struck her square in the chest and sent her crashing into the burning wreckage of the home. As she lay on the ground with blood pouring from multiple wounds, a small, weak voice spoke up. "Kaine?" Kaine's vision blurred, but she forced herself to focus on the sound. Suddenly, her eyes cleared enough for her to make out her grandmother's hands reaching out to her through the smoke. "Grandma?" "Kaine, you've got to run. You can't defeat him." Kaine grabbed the hands and held on with all her strength. So I think this is the shade that we fight when we first meet Kaine at the beginning of the game. By the way, if you hadn't put that together. "Grandma, come on, we have to go." The old woman coughed loudly. One of her hands, slick with blood, slipped from Kaine's grasp and thumped to the ground below. "Grandma, no, no." "I said run, goddammit. You have to live. You have to get through." The thought would stay forever unfinished. Before she could say another word, the shade's clawed foot descended, smashing through the remains of the roof and down upon the shattered figure of the old woman. Blood oozed thickly from gasps in the creature's toes as the terrible putrid smell assaulted Kaine's nose once again. She stared at the foot, dumbfounded, convinced that what she was seeing could not possibly be real. When the creature finally lifted its appendage, all that remained underneath was the twisted, unrecognizable mass of rubble and red. Her grandmother was gone. Kaine blinked, trying to feel hands which had been in hers just a moment before. For a fleeting instant, she could remember the warmth of that embrace, the trembling of the fingers, but then the sensation drifted away on the breeze and was gone. Memories flashed through Kaine's mind one after the other, faster and faster, until they became a meaningless jangle of noise. Kaine screamed then, a thunderous sound that echoed off the cliffs and seemed to roll away forever. The shade eased forward, black ichor pouring from its mouth and dissolving into smoke on the ground below. The earth shook with every step as it crept towards its prey. Kaine's body slowly rose as if controlled by a mad puppet master. Her arms and legs were bent at impossible angles, her head lolled dangerously to the side, yet somehow she managed to stand. Staring at the shade, her eyes began to glow with a deep red fire. The creature, so confident just moments before, took a slow, hesitant step backwards, as if trying to discern if this broken human could possibly pose a threat. Kaine seized the moment. Laughing like a madwoman, she leapt into the air and plunged the shattered tilt of her knife deep into the leg of the shade. The shade took Kaine off like a fly, shook Kaine off like a fly, sending her crashing to the earth once again. Her chest rose and fell slowly, as if a great weight were resting on it. Moist sounds of pain echoed through her mind. Something warm and thick oozed from her ears. Is that blood? I think it is. I think I'm bleeding to death. No, can't die. Grandma Wood told me to live. Deep inside Kaine's mind, something finally broke. The sound, the pain, the smoke, the flames. All of it faded away until all that remained was a single incantation repeated over and over again. Kill it. 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 Now. As the spark that was Kaine slowly began to flicker and die, she felt her desire to kill and her desire to live blend into one. The distance between heartbeats grew longer and longer and longer. I challenge you to read that much text at once in video without making any mistakes.
The beast approaches.
Oh, I got it.
anger this creature must have. How did it even survive these past 5 years?
I'm not gonna let this happen again. He dies today. My sword feels lighter.
It's not the blade, but the skill of the user. Strike him down!
You need to refresh, Swede. You're still not showing up with my user list, so I don't know what's going on. But, yeah. You might both want to refresh, although NVIDIA looks like they're probably okay. Kaine's dream encounter. We have more text. We're not done yet. Gently, weakly, softly. The shade, sure that its tormentor was dead, turned and stomped off toward the horizon, stopping along the way to bellow one final roar. Couldn't kill it. So sorry, Grandma. Couldn't avenge you. Shame beyond imagining, Kaine tried to turn her head to the side, but only succeeded in coughing up a huge gout of blood. It was getting difficult to see, and only after a moment of fierce concentration did she realize that her left eye was gone. Laughing to herself, she turned her remaining eye to the ruins of her home and noticed the ragged stump of an arm resting a few feet away. Yep, that's mine, she thought with a mad giggle. This is going to make clapping a real bitch. Ha! Cried a sudden voice from the depths of her mind. Finally going to die, are you? Well, you had it coming. Go to hell, Demo, she thought at the unseen assailant. Go to hell before I pluck out your eyes and feed them to a dog. The voice of her childhood terror evaporated in the smoke, only replaced by another, more recent voice. Hold still, said the apothecary, materializing from the ruins like a ghost. I want to draw you. That way, you can live forever. No, stop. Don't want to live forever. You want to die right here. I see, he said quietly. Well, if that's how you want it. The spectral shopkeeper fluttered in and out of existence for a moment, and then produced a piece of paper and sketched quickly. After a few seconds, he turned the page to Kaine and smiled. Since you rejected my offer, I decided to draw someone else. It was a picture of her grandmother, real as life. Kaine opened her mouth to thank the man, but stopped as the picture began to blacken in the middle. Before she could say anything, thousands of multi-legged insects began to swarm across the image, tearing at it with sharpened pincers. Stop, no, don't hurt that picture. Kaine reached out with her remaining arm and waved futilely at the air. To her surprise, the insects fell off the picture into the ground below, where they vanished to tiny black tendrils of smoke. Relieved, Kaine turned a good eye back to the picture, only for her mouth to open in a silent scream. The sketch now showed her grandmother as she truly was, a smashed, unrecognizable lump of nothing. The apothecary smiled, then broke into a jolly dance. See that? He cried as he danced his jig. It's perfect now. She looks just like you. Ha, cha-cha-cha. I look like that? Oh, God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Drowning in despair, Kaine laid her head back into the mud and smoke of her ruined house and waited for the end to come. But just before she let everything go, an unfamiliar voice began whispering in her ear. Ain't you got a wish, sunshine? The voice was vulgar and fierce at the same time, as if insanity had somehow found a new way to take form. Kaine wanted to scream as the voice crawled under her skin, but her lungs refused to work. You know, a wish, like a prayer or something. Why don't you get on your knees and start praying to heaven? Please, invisible man in the sky, save me, save me. Ha ha ha. Kaine finally resorted to shouting at the voice of her mind. I don't make wishes, they don't come true for me. I'm a curse, a freak. I should be left to die. The other voice boomed in her ears. Oh God, you are the best. Kaine glanced down and saw a black, shiny substance oozing from her legs. She tried to brush it away, but her remaining arm would no longer respond. The substance slowly crept around her feet and then began moving up towards the rest of her body. Is this death? Is this what it's like? Or is my mind just losing itself? She could feel the slime oozing upward, feel the hot, searing pain it left in its wake. Whatever else might be happening, she was still alive, and this was real. Come on, said the voice. Let it go. Kaine tried to ignore the voice and concentrate on the pain, but the newcomer would have none of it. Don't ignore me, sunshine. You're ready to give up, ready to die, so why not let me have it? Have what? Your body. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me. I want to stand on the ground, feel the rain, taste the wind. The voice paused as if licking its lips. When it resumed, it was filled with a mad, unabated joy. Now I want to take your hands and use them to choke the goddamn life out of people. I want to tear out their throats and bathe in the blood, just like before. In response, Kaine shifted her head and vomited. The warmth of it crept down her front and mingled with the pain of the encroaching black ooze. Are you a shade? Yeah, maybe. What of it? The slime reached her face, crept past her nose, and slowly oozed into the socket of her missing eye. The moment it touched her brain, Kaine was struck by the most powerful sensation she'd ever felt in her life. It was ecstasy. She wanted to scream with delight, but all she could manage was a small, whispered moan. Feels good, don't it? Said the voice with a chuckle. Yeah, what can I say? I know how to please the ladies. Now give me that body. Come on, give me that body, and I'll give you more of this feeling. It's a fair trade. A black lump began to protrude from Kaine's side. She watched it. It grew longer and thicker, eventually taking the form of her missing arm. I can see better, she thought. My eye must be growing back too. The slime reached up to envelop the rest of her face, but she managed to brush it away. Stop, she whispered, marveling at how she had regained her voice. Stop. You are here now. I see you again. The black ooze hesitated, as if considering this request, then quickly shimmered down her body before disappearing in a cloud of smoke. Ah, what the hell, sunshine, screamed the voice. We had a deal. I thought you wanted to die. Grandmother said, I can't die yet. A brief image of her grandmother, bloodied and broken, flashed before her eyes. She saw the shade that had killed her and heard its mocking laughter, then closed her eyes and forced the image from her mind. Her whole body was quaking with rage. When she opened her eyes again, they burned bright red. That thing took my grandmother. I have to kill it before I die. Kaine glanced down and saw a mysterious pattern. That pattern of the shades burn itself into her left arm. Well, I'll be damned, said the voice cheerfully. Look at that, sunshine. I think you and me are going to be good friends now. Kaine stared intently at her arm. The more emotional she felt, the more letters seemed ready to puncture her skin and begin infecting the rest of her body. The arm clearly had a will of its own now. Stop. Gotta stop. Holding her left arm in her right, Kaine took a deep breath and tried to calm herself. Come on, don't fight it, pleaded the voice. Hey, it's my favorite dish, and I'm hungry. Let it go. Feel the anger. Burn with the fire of revenge. Thirst for blood, then go out there and... Shut up and get the hell out of my body. Oh, your body, that's rich, sunshine. Real rich. Look, why don't you just up and die so I can have this body all to myself? What do you say? I bet those buddies of yours in the area would love to see you dead. Kaine grabbed a nearby shard of glass and tried to saw off the shade-infected portion of her side. Before she could, her darkened left arm grabbed the right wrist, crushing it. Kaine screamed and dropped the shard as the sound of bone crunching on bone filled the air. Ah, stupid idiot girl. You're possessed now, sunshine, and there ain't no going back. The voice laughed again, a loud, long wail that seemed to go on without end. Possessed? Whispered Kaine. Yeah, possessed. You and me, we got what you might call a timeshare agreement. Remember how folks used to think you were a freak? Well, wait till they get a load of you now. Kaine looked up, tears in her eyes. The sky seemed smaller somehow, darker. Is this because of that shade? Is this how they see the world? So, listen, purred the voice. I know this whole possession thing seems a bit sudden, but it ain't all bad. There's plenty in it for you, too. I'm a very powerful creature, Sunshine, and now that power belongs to you. You got enemies, people you want to kill, I can make it happen. That little fat kid who kept picking on you, that big old shade that squished your granny, will wrap them up in their own assholes. No more abuse for you, Sunshine. No more pain. But wait, said Kaine. You're a shade. Why would you help me kill another shade? What do you think? I'm some kind of racist? Some kind of killing snob? I don't give a goddamn who you murder, Honeypants. I just want to drink from the well. Kaine considered this as she struggled to her feet, the power of the shade coursing through her. The smoke from her house was drifting away with the wind, and she enjoyed the way the cool evening breeze felt on her new left arm. After a long pause, the voice spoke up again. So, how about it? You and me could have some good times together. Look, I'll even take care of the bloody part if you don't want. Fuck off, asshole, muttered Kaine. I'll handle the killing. Ah, screamed the voice. Look at you go. Oh, Sunshine, we're going to have so much fun. So listen, my name's Tyron, and if you ever need me, I'll just be hanging out in this piece of meat you call a heart. Now get to it. The more you kill, the more your heart turns rotten and sour, and I like it all rotten and sour. Kaine found herself nodding at the voice. Yeah, she said. Yeah, I think this can work. I'm going to find that shade. I'm going to strangle it with its own guts. And when I'm done, I'm going to do the same to you, Tyron. Count on it. Ah, laughed Tyron. I've shit bigger than you, so good luck with that. Oh, and hey, one more thing. Right now, you and me are sharing this body. If you ever run out of hate, if you ever, go soft, then I'm going to take over everything. So keep on killing, Sunshine, and watch your back. The voice grew fainter and gradually faded away, fading to somewhere deep inside Kaine herself. Kaine waited until she was sure the voice was gone, then waved her new arm around a few times. It feels perfectly normal, she thought. It feels like mine. Desperately, she began poking and prodding at the new limb, determined to find something wrong with it. She didn't want it to feel normal. That would mean the creature inside her had already won. I am not a shade. I am Kaine. Repeating this mantra in her mind, she slowly began digging through the rubble of her house, being careful to ignore a certain red-stained spot in the corner. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of heartbreaking work, she found what she was looking for. It was the wreath of lunar tears. Though it had been through hell and back, the garland's petals were bright as ever. Kaine started to place it in her hair, then slowly lowered the wreath and stared at it. I'm sorry, Grandma. I'm so sorry. But I don't deserve to wear this anymore. I'm possessed, corrupted, a freak. And this time, I don't think there's any going back. Holding the flowers to her heart, Kaine fell to the ground and sobbed. As night gradually lightened to dawn and the people of the area rose to their daily lives, she remained in that position as if tears could somehow wash away the horror that now infected her world.
Alive. Stay alive. Stay alive.
Got a trophy for that.
Kaine, you gotta live. You gotta come back to us.
You have read a novel to your stream. You get a trophy.
Who are... Emil, you were the one calling me, huh?
You still recognize me?
Yeah, sure. I knew you right away.
Thank you, Kaine.
Good to see you, Kaine.
You look like shit. How long has it been?
5 years.
Oh. That's a long time.
Yes, yes it is.
Any luck with Yona?
We are still no closer to finding her. We need a way to locate the Shadow Lord.
This is for you.
Lunar tears. Did you make this?
It's just a little welcome back gift. It's not much, I know.
It's nothing like the one Grandma used to make, but... oh, hell. Thanks.
Excuse me.
I don't think he's supposed to actually be scary. Although I imagine he was stalking you in a dark alley with a spear and magic glowing, it would be scary.
Popola, we did it. We freed Kaine.
That's great. Listen, can I talk to you for a minute?
This doesn't make sense.
Please, try to understand. People are tired and scared, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to bear the brunt of that.
It's crap.
It's okay. We can sleep outside.
No one's sleeping outside. You and Kaine saved this village, and now they want to run you out?
People are afraid of us. And really, I understand. I mean, look at me. As long as you're still with us, I can deal with it. Right, Kaine?
I'm used to sleeping outside.
I'm sorry.
We'll see you later.
We're sorry.
Not yet. We have to wait till they betray us later.
What is the matter?
Spoilers, by the way.
Kaine always sleeps outside. I never thought about that until just now. How could I have not noticed that? How selfish am I? What the hell is wrong with me?
We should turn in.
To what? I didn't get much sleep that night. I want to blame Devila for everything. I want to grab Popola and strangle her. But anger won't accomplish anything. They said and did what they did for the sake of the village. For the sake of protecting it from the horrifying threat of the Shades. ... If Devil and Popola are to blame, then I am equally at fault. For not stopping for a moment to think about Kaine and Emil. Sleep well? Sure. Well, if you say so. I need to go see Devil and Popola. Very well. So we know what we need to do to get to the end again. I thought I would end up playing Kaine, but maybe the changing characters was the thing that didn't come up for Automata. So what I'm guessing this is going to be is basically the same second half of the game. I have all my gear already because I didn't get the spear till later the first time through, like much later. So we can keep getting new gear and keep leveling up. So hopefully it'll be easier this time. We can do side quests we've missed, stuff like that. But we'll probably blaze through this pretty quickly, assuming there's not a bunch of extra stuff. And I think it's going to mostly be cutscenes at this point, based off of what we've seen so far.
I'm bushed.
I suppose there are...
Hey!
Yep, we can upgrade weapons again. Actually, I have to wait until
Oh, you.
I do the junk heap.
Yeah, I'm
I don't
kinda
think they're
busy
there right
now.
now. Hang on, let's go check. We have 60% of weapons. Do you have a moment? Yep, maybe. Or what it was on those last things, like short up the sense that's so complicated. This way I thought the part was machine makes the age, better not repair it until it fails completely. You got any ideas? Not much mechanical stuff. I believe the strange story. Oh, that's right. I never did that whole quest. Okay, well, we should do that this time. Let's head to... Actually. Ah! Okay.
I knew it. This is what I was talking about.
I think that they're already gone. Because if we think back, I think somewhere in the 5 years that is the blackout period, it was when the brother made his foray into the junk heap. So I suspect they're already not there and won't be back until we go do the junk heap. So we'll probably do that first this time so we get some upgrades done. Yeah, that makes sense. We'll go with it. Spear is still overpowered. I don't think I can do upgrades right now. I don't think that's even possible at this exact moment because I think they're already gone at this point, and we're gonna have to do the junk heap quest first to get them back. Oh, you jerk. Ooh, natural rubber. I was looking for that for something before, could never find it. I guess it's a level-based drop. I just wasn't high enough level. I can't remember what I needed it for. Shit. Oh, hang on a second. My controls are messed up. Option. Magic ability. Oh, yeah. See, that's completely wrong. Why would you do this to me, game? Let me see. Dark hand. UV, dark blast. Better. The problem was I did that quest last, and therefore when I finally finished it, we got shoved down into the end game. There was a very brief period where I could upgrade weapons with just the one kid there. So that's when we can do it again. I can't remember if there's a weapon shop here. Just because I kind of want to collect them all because I'm sure there's a trophy for it. Oh, that. I was trying to talk to them instead. I charged past. Looks like an idiot.
Hello.
Excuse me, sir. What, me? Yes, you people I'm talking to. They're saying you're a very adept freelance agent. I'm a jeweler by trade, you see. I'm currently in search of a precious gem known as the Mermaid Tier. Have you heard of it, sir? I don't know much about jewelry. Yes, of course. Why would you? Well, then let me tell you, I believe the tier to be located somewhere in this very town. I am close now. So very close. It seems like more of a business transaction for you. You see to the core of me, sir. The Mermaid Tier is one of my family's most precious heirlooms. My grandmother was the original possessor, but my grandfather was the original possessor, but upon his death some 50 years ago, the jewel vanished without a trace. I have devoted my life to searching for it, and that quest has led me here. It must be in this town. Well, I'd be happy to help you with the search. 1,000 thank yous, good sir. Having the assistance of a local will surely make the search that much more fruitful. Not a problem. Hey, I know you're that desperate guy who'll take any job that comes along, no matter how stupid or demeaning. That's not really how I'd phrase it, but if you've got the money, I've got the time. Dan stands for me. Ha ha ha. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, I've got a boat that needs some repairs. Think you can round up some materials for me? I need 5 logs, 20 dented metal boards, and 10 strip boats. I'd ask if you're up for it, but I know you are. You're really starting to piss me off.
A trading mission, huh?
Is something the matter?
No, it's just that... Well, I've never left here before. I'm just wondering what it's like to see a new place. Someday, I hope to take Yona on a journey like this.
And someday you shall.
I will. I'm sure of it.
I don't think I ever came back to this town and played through to 1. Never heard of it. Lighthouse Lady, I've been wanting to ask you. Knew everything about precious stones?
That old woman, is it?
Yeah.
Perhaps a visit to her home is in order.
Hello, dearie.
Ah, it's you. I've heard a great many stories about you making quite a name for yourself. I don't know about that. Oh, no need to be so modest. After all, I may have a job for someone with your particular talents. I'm listening. I need you to retrieve some cargo from a ship that wrecked at sea. To recover it all would be a monumental task, so you should concentrate on 3 crates of particular importance. This cargo is likely washed ashore in the far-flung corners of the world, so it will be a task of some difficulty. Can I count on your assistance? Sure. Ah, excellent, excellent. Oh, and one more thing. Whatever you do, you must not unseal the cargo. Well, no, I'm curious. Why can't I open it? Well, there were some rather unique products I was shipping. If you want to see them, it might place me in something of a dilemma. Hey, you're the gal with the money. You don't want me to look? Fine, I won't look. I am a little disappointed we're not actually playing as Kaine. It makes me kind of sad.
Hey!
Hey, you got a moment? You used to be friends with the Lighthouse Lady, right? As I remember, we basically hated each other. Oh, well, you at least talk to her, right? Could I ask you a favor? What's the job? The lighthouse is in good shape now, but it's going to wear out eventually. We'd like to have replacement parts ready. Can you get the parts from the junk heap? I'm sure the Lighthouse Lady would be appreciative, wherever she is. I can't believe I'm helping her again, but all right, I'll do it. Thank you. I think we'll need 10 broken lenses and 10 broken batteries. And while you're at it, 10 mysterious switches would be nice too. And a partridge in a pear tree. There's 2 letters here for the Lighthouse Lady. Whoa. According to the postmark, they're 50 years old. Didn't that jeweler say the Mermaid Tier was lost 50 years ago? Perhaps this is more than a coincidence. Maybe who was to sneak a look inside those letters? I suppose it can't hurt. Here's the first letter. I am enclosing the mermaid tear with my next letter. It's the only thing I have found in this world that can hope to compare to your beauty. And here's the second one. My dearest, I fear I cannot send the mermaid tear at this time. Hope you can forgive me for this terrible slight. So the mermaid tear was supposed to go to the lighthouse lady, but never made it. And yet the tear is no longer with its original owner. What can we conclude from this? The second letter was from Seafront, which means the postman's father had started writing letters by that time. And therefore, the jewel must have made its way to this town. I smell a rat. To the post office. This is going to be when we finally go to the back room at the post office that we wasted time getting to before. It's probably in storage. Lost. Go save. Then we'll go to the post office and dig their crap out of the basement again. Oh, hello, what can I do for you? Looking for a package addressed to the lighthouse lady. It would be about 50 years old. You want a package from half a century ago? Your father was the previous postman, right? Did he even mention something like that to you? No, he just told me to keep writing letters. But we keep all of our unclaimed packages in the storage room. If she didn't pick it up, it's probably still there. Great, I'm going to go take a look around. How did I do this last time? It was a great stunning pain in the ass, I recall. Let me think about this. I end up having to put one here to basically block this area. But how did I get that there? Here. Push this here. Yeah. No. Maybe. There. Shove this out of the way. Okay. Works. I'll take it. A 50-year-old package. Hope the rats haven't eaten it. Is this it? It bears her name, and the postmark is 50 years old. Look, the jewel lies inside. Quickly, what does the letter say? As promised, I am enclosing the mermaid tear. Unfortunately, this gift comes with a piece of sad news. My love, I fear the illness which ravages my body will soon claim it. My dreams of traveling to you are all but lost. I desired so to give you the stone with my own hand that I cannot, as my greatest regret. He gave her his family's heirloom as a final gift. Hold on a moment. I see another letter. It is a death notice. So the man had already passed on when the package finally arrived at Seafront. Which means the postman had already begun to lie to her. So what now? Do we give the jewel back to the client, or maybe the postman would have a better idea?
What's new?
Did you find it? Well, yeah, but it's complicated. Oh, I see. It was from the woman's lover. I don't know what to do here. Well, you're the one who found it. Do whatever you think is best. What should I do? Bury the jewel in memory of the woman, give it to the client, or sell it. I'm gonna give it back to the client. Oh, I'm gonna Google something real quick. Okay. You don't get anything special if you give it back, so, yep. Oh, alright. If that's what you think is best. I doubt the old girl will complain about it. So you probably got the jewel in heaven anyway. Well, next step is visit the clients, I suppose.
Hey!
Did you find it? Hey, listen! That's like exactly that voice. Yeah, I did. It's right here. Oh, I have waited for so long. Your sterling reputation, sir, has clearly been earned. Selling us 10,000. Nobody can remember what giving it to the client was worth. Burying it was worth nothing. It's precious memento of my grandfather. Here's your reward. Thank you. Same for selling it.
So the mermaid tear was being sent to her.
That thing must stir up some powerful memories.
But it is far too late to bring it to her now.
No, it's not.
I certainly hope so.
Check for crap. Wonder where the chests have ended up around the world for the cargo. We're gonna have to look at like all the various like sea fronts and stuff everywhere. Hi guys, how you guys doing? Sup Shades, hi. I mean, I could really use the levels. But it's like, whatevs. It's fine. It's all fine. It's all fine. Hi! How's everybody doing? I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. I didn't check if there's a weapon shop there, did I? Shit. Got it. I'll have to check later.
Curse my tired old bones.
How about buying something, I knew it. This is what I was talking about.
Man, I'm bushed.
I fear the next card fate holds for us.
I don't think you need to jump for that to work. I think it's just dash. And two different types of dash back to back. And that's the fastest way you can move around. I think the jumping is a red herring of sorts. Where am I going? Oh, down there.
Hey.
Sup? Hi. Kinda thought you'd never talk to us again. This is bigger than you or Popola. It's all about the whole damn it's about the whole damn village. I know, but regardless, you should go talk to Popola. I think she wants to discuss the Shadow Lord with you. I can do that. Oh, and also, yeah. Sorry about yesterday. Kind of flew off the handle. No, you didn't. Besides, it was our fart. It was our fart in the first place. Yes, that's right. It was their fart. Let Emil and Kaine know we're sorry. All right. I'm experimenting with the controls for later because I know it matters. I'll do that. Fudgesicles. I appear to have Zionzies. Popola? Oh, hello. Look, I want to apologize for yeast. Stop, don't you dare. You have every right to make bread. I understand why you did what you did, even if I don't agree. You're just trying to protect the villagers. It's not your fault yet. I still feel terrible, just so you know. I believe there's something we wish to discuss with us. Oh, right. Yes, about that. You know about the Lost Shrine, right? The temple where I was first discovered. That's it, and it seems the Shadow Lord's lair is connected to it somehow. Oh ho, it's right underneath our pages the whole time. But the entrance is sealed off, and the bridge that had led us there. So take a boat. A boat? Yep, the trade waterway's been repaired. We've been using a lot recently. There's a handling point. Blah, 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 blah. Yep, I feel like she does so much for me. Go take a boat. Blah, blah, etc. Nobody's going to die. Probably. Sorry. I shouldn't do that when Sweet is watching. I apologize, Sweet. It's the same conversation as before, though. Yes, because she was apologizing for yeast. With no A. So it's yeast. I can call it yeast if I want to. I'm taking artistic license. You kind of have to be here for the whole thing, I feel like. You might want to watch some of the back VODs if you're curious. I can also just sum up later if you want me to. Because we're starting at the halfway point, give or take, and all the stuff that happened before still matters, even though we're not playing through it again. So, yeah. You're missing a whole bunch of context. Let us go check and see if maybe the kids are there. I don't know if they are or not, but it's only one way to be sure about it. Let's go look. I also just need to murder a bunch of robots anyway for some quest rewards, so we'll probably just do a quick pass through the factory. I think the only time mail is there is when it's a quest thing, but I will check when we get back to town. Which we have to do before we can go to the Lost Shrine. So it won't be that long. They've got that under control, I'm not gonna worry about it. Ah, damn it. I can't use boar to get here because of the jump. Makes the boars mad at you. But I will boar some, because it is fun. I kept trying to jump in Final Fantasy VII, and it was so annoying that I couldn't. I think that's the one thing that's going to bother me about the game is the fact that there appears to be no jumping in it. Yep, not here already. So we have to do the Lost Shrine and then the Junk Heap. And then we should be able to get upgrades again. But we're going to go and do the Junk Heap once now because we need like 50 million random robot bits for other quests. So let's just go kill some. Let's go kill everything on the first floor. Maybe the second floor. I don't know.
So you're going to fetch parts to fix a lighthouse?
Yeah. There was this old lady that helped me once, and I'm fixing the lighthouse where she used to live.
Exactly who did the helping is a matter of debate, but regardless.
Wow, a lighthouse keeper. That sounds kind of romantic.
Indeed. She was nothing if not a hopeless romantic.
Yeah, I guess she was.
That's right. I can kill these effing robots with one hit now. That's a lot easier than it was before. You might be right. But there has to be a point in time you can do it. Otherwise, you can't improve any weapons after the first playthrough. And I can't see them doing that because that would suck. Because there's weapons, you don't get all the weapons in the first playthrough. I have so many broken antennas I can't pick up any more of them. Cool. Let's see. Quests. Uncompletable quests. Let's see here. We need 9 broken lenses, 3 broken batteries, and 8 mysterious switches. I think those are all downstairs. Cargoes. Oh, God. Well, we have plenty of dented metal boards and strip bolts, so we have to find 5 logs. Okay, that's cool. Yes, that's definitely a much faster way to get around. Chaining those 2 moves together. Climbing ladders, however, is not a fast way to get around. Climbing ladders is super slow. Wonder where the other 40% of the weapons are at. No. So I thought I'd picked up all the ones in dungeons. So that means I probably missed some somewhere. Oops. That was my butt. I landed on it. It hurt. It injured my pride. Perfect dismount. Wonder where you get logs. Forest of Myth? Off the ground? Do you loot them from monsters? Where do logs come from? No mail. I am going to go take a very quick break, and I'll be right back, and we'll keep going for another hour, hour and a half or so. Be right back. Oh. Okay. So I don't think it's actually possible for me to do 100% of quests. I was just thinking about this. Because... of the uncompletable quest list of 2. These are quests from the first half of the game, and I'm willing to bet that we never again get to try that part of the game. So that sucks. But that means I don't have to try to get 100% quest completion. Let's go do the Forgotten Shrine. There's a quest up here too before. I never got. Let's check on that. Might not be there till later in the game though. Yeah, this person has a quest later, but does not seem to yet. Oh no, this is...
You know what?
Ah, it's one of the kids for the sick kid quest. Okay.
Sup?
Lost Shrine, not Forgotten Shrine. I know what I mean.
The lost shrine is at the other end of this cave.
And the Shadow Lord's castle lies just beyond.
Let us make...
We have to go this way to get the first half of the first part of the key, so that way we get pointed towards all the other pieces we have to go around to all the other dungeons to get. Oh, more backstory. Hansel. This one's name is Gretel, and Hansel's the one we killed at the beginning of the game when we took Weiss out. Who are you? Go away, dirty, defective swine. I'm not like you. I'm different. Ah, shit. Man, we're assholes. When we come back here again later, it's swarming with enemies. We should double check and make sure we haven't missed any treasure chests that may hold useful items that we may have otherwise missed already. I don't think we have, but I'm gonna do some double checking this time. It's kind of annoying that every pass through here is basically the same, just the enemy types change. But you have to go through all the same rooms every time. You again, stop bothering me. Grimoire Weiss has been taken away. Hansel is dead. There's no reason for me to exist anymore. My life is over. Just leave me alone. You... Can't remember what I need Twisted Rings for, but I need them for something, I think. Oh, excuse me. I muted too soon, sorry. Oh. Night. Sleep well. Take it easy. Pardon my sniffles. Sorry. Okay, nothing here. Nothing here. I have found a couple of weapons in wooden crates around the world. So it's not completely weird to look there for them. You have to be right in the middle or you can't grab it. That's really annoying. Excuse me.
This is all too easy.
I'm almost disappointed.
Looks like we've done it before. Go through here and climb the ladder. Man, my coof. Pardon me. Oh, seriously? Trying to reconnect to Twitch. Hang on a second. don't know why. Okay, cool. We're reconnected. Okay, we'll keep going now. It's that box. Jump over this. Grab, move. Nope, fail. No, that's fine. Push. Actually, I can't remember if there's enough room here for two of them side by side or not. But I do know if we do this, there's certainly enough room. So we'll move this here. I have to do this because we have to move the other two to this spot. Yeah, okay. Is that something to show up when I'm done? Yeah. Turn back, turn back.
Who are these guys?
Certainly not your garden variety shades.
Their bodies aren't fully functional.
Twitch decided to disconnect me for a second.
A cursed area where incomplete shades gather.
That's what Tyrant sounds like, huh? So I wonder who Tyrant is now. Seems like that's probably important. But I don't know. There's a trophy for 100 hit combo. I, however, kill stuff way too fast to make that even vaguely reasonable at this point. So I don't know if I should have gotten this sooner, or if maybe I just need to, like, equip my worst weapon at some point, or what. Thank you, Duck, for the 5 bits. I appreciate you. Skate through the ground. Everybody dead yet? Not bad. Man, the spear is just ridiculously good in this game. The moveset's absurdly nice. It's like, yes, I'm just going to erase everything that's in my way. Because that's what I do. I almost killed it in one round. Okay, now it's dead. That was actually really hard the first time I fought it. That was a long time ago, though, I guess. I've already been back through there. I noticed nothing in there. I'm not even going to look this time. I've treated you all poorly. I mocked you, betrayed you, all because you went Gestalt before the change was complete. But after this, I think I can understand you. I think we can speak as equals. This makes me very happy. Hope we can spend the rest of our live. Oh, it's live. What was that?
Kaine, Emil, I want you to... Look, I'm sorry, all right?
That was close.
Sorry for what?
I'm going to talk to the villagers. I want them to let you in.
Oh, it's no big deal. Right, Kaine?
I'm used to it.
Well, you shouldn't be. It's crap, and it needs to change.
I wish everyone felt the same way.
Emil.
It's all right, really. I like camping out with Kaine. It's kind of fun, in a weird way. Sometimes we sit around the fire and tell stories, or roast...
Emil, that's enough. I got a fucking image to maintain.
Block puzzles are the best. At least there's no water levels. Emil's all being show-offy there, being like, hey, look at me, I'm up here floating in the sky. Don't you wish you could do that?
We seem to be surrounded by a mob of helpless puppies.
Just kick them aside.
I wonder how hard... Oh, there's a thing here. How did I miss that before? It's just sitting right next to the door. Oh my god, I'm terrible. I suspect this fight's going to be easier this time. Second phase might not be, though. I don't know. We'll see. to touch them.
What's going on? There's dozens of them!
These are creatures of the darkness. Lure them to the light. Pathetic to the end, I see.
Aim for that stone statue. It's the leader.
Have you felled the beast?
No, not yet. Those are my friends. You know,
Oh, this is one stubborn son of a bitch.
Damn it, damn it, damn it!
Hey there, Sunshine. You ain't feeling bad for this freak, are ya? Ain't no turning back now. You gotta lust for blood. You gotta embrace the slaughter.
Kaine!
you should go to sleep, sweetie. You've been up forever. The voice we're hearing is the creature which is possessing Kaine. Why not? I mean, you're not going to stay awake for 2 days straight. That's not good for you. You'll fall asleep in the middle of the day. You might as well do it now and get up in like 5 or 6 hours. At least get a nap in.
Kaine, are you all right? We've got to get help.
I fear there is little we can do.
No! Kaine!
Get back.
What is that?
It's all over for you, Sunshine.
Kaine! Kaine!
Yep, that's what she always wears. The game comments on it exactly once. Later on, we're not there yet.
Look at Kaine's shade!
We've no other choice. We must strike it down.
Kaine! Please come back!
Stay your blade. Magic is required against this foe. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Kaine! Kaine!
Kaine.
I couldn't hold it back. I can't be with you.
We're always going to be together, Kaine. If you transform again, we'll just stop it again, as many times as it takes. I don't care how tough it is. We're gonna
Hey,
get
Ash,
you
how you
back.
doing?
I like sleeping outside because I'm with you, Kaine. I'm able to ignore my appearance and keep going because of you. I'm weak
There is a
and
thing
sad
that's happened.
and lonely, but somehow you make me strong. You're my friend and I need you, so you can't go away.
All right. All right. Stop crying.
You should totally go to bed. Let the sweet, sweet sound of my salt lull you to sleep. Unplug your laptop, though, so that when the battery dies, it'll turn off.
Thank you. I'm all right.
Route B, Ash, is all about Kaine's story. We started off with an hour of Zork. It's entirely possible. I mean, some people don't like computers in bed. It's a cipher of some kind. Can determine its meaning. I think it's the key to my channels. Take a look at this. Blah, 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 etc., etc. Stone Guardian, Lost Shrine, other fragments, Sacrifice, Law of Robotics, Memory Tree, Loyal Cerberus, Law of Robotics, Memory Tree. Loyal Cerberus is in the Rules Village. Sacrifice. I don't remember where that was. It'll come up. No problem. What fill those words? Just run the world killing every big monster we find, right? Oh, splendid. Probably means let's undertake a murderous rampage. Kill them or they kill us. Besides, the only way to reach the Shadow Lord. It won't be easy. Kill Shades and save my daughter. Easiest thing in the world. But how can you even be sure that she's... Because she is. Alright. So the Junk Keep and the Force of Myth, right? I'm on my way. Please be careful. Oh, and listen, about Kaine and Emil. The villagers know how much they've sacrificed, and they're thankful. It's just, they're scared, you know. People can't change overnight. I'll hurry them along as best I can. But you give them a little bit more time, please? Guess. You can watch the VOD. The end of it's only about an hour, the important part. But you'll get to see most of it with some extra cutscenes. Because we've been getting a lot of extra cutscenes about Kaine's background. Oh, and we can understand the Shades talking now. So that's interesting. At least some of them. The boss Shades, we get subtitles for now when they're yelling at us. Night, Swede, or day, or whatever. Get some rest. I'm actually, even though I said the Junk Keep, I'm actually going to go to the Force of Myth first, because I need some logs for a quest, and I'm hoping that wood might be in the forest. I know that's a weird hope, but we're hoping for it anyway. Was it restful? See, I don't like it personally whenever I sleep super late in the day and then wake up at night, because there's not so much. There's only so much you can do at night, and so I prefer to be awake more during the day. But that's just my preference. I mean, everybody's different. And if you're tired, you're tired. Sometimes you just gotta sleep.
Oh, you. Yeah, I'm kind of busy now.
I suppose all children are precious to their own parents.
Of course they are.
Hey there!
If it works for you, you should go for it.
But if the cause of the illness is a mystery, how are we possibly supposed to find a cure?
I was hoping you had an idea.
Those were
about
quests
that.
I didn't finish in Route
We
A.
could speak
So
with the
I
child
already,
itself.
I've already read the intros.
The
to it.
child? Wouldn't...
Even the oldest man in the world is but a child to my eyes.
The forest totally cursed him. That's why I think everyone told him not to play in there, but he did anyway. That was a weird slow motion. Some of it depends on exactly which one you're talking about. So it's really hard for me to answer that accurately. I start listing off all the things I know, but I feel like that might be spoilers for you. We know what shades are. What we learned about Kaine today? We learned she's possessed. That's the big one. We know what she's. We know she's possessed by a shade called Tyron. I don't know who Tyron is yet, and that he talks to her. We learned all about her grandma. It was a very sad story, actually. I actually almost cried a few times reading that off. It was all Zork's story, so I had to read the whole thing. It was a little sad. I suspect we shall learn more about Tyron as we go, and that could potentially be what you're redacting, depending on exactly what it is. Because he keeps talking to her now, like, randomly in the world and during boss fights. And I think he's the reason why we can understand Shades now, since we know he's in there. Yeah, that might be it. It's hard to be sure. Let's go see if there's any wood in here. Do you think there would be wood in a forest of myth? Doesn't seem unreasonable, does it?
This is the village from the dream.
Yeah.
Truly a nightmare I hope never to experience again.
I hear you.
That is a tree branch and not actually a log. It's always hard to be sure, right? I get it completely. I understand. Yes, we know that Kaine is being possessed by a powerful murderous shade known as Tyron, who wants her to kill everything. We know that if she stops hating, he'll take over and kill her from the inside. And that's why she is as gruff as she is, I believe.
Ah!
Hello, how are things? You want to know if anything unusual is happening? Well, I have been feeling rather strange presence when I visited the Divine Tree. Okay, we are not doing this right now. I'm actually going to load the game because I need to do the junk heap first this time and not this first. Although, what is this? Yeah, no, I don't want to do this. Hang on. So we're going to quit out real quick. And then we're going to load back up, and we're going to continue the game. Because it's important that I do the junk heap first this time because of things and orders that things happen in. I learned that the first time through. It's not required, but in order to do some things that I want to do, I need to do it first this time.
Vice, you dumbass!
Maybe the
Start
PS5 will
making
crash less often. You can always hope, right? Vice, you dumbass. So the second playthrough starts at the halfway point. You start right as Emil is turning the stone Kaine, and that's where you carry forward from. Which means that it is now impossible for me to finish 100% of the quests in the game. Unless playthrough 3 starts at the beginning. We can never do these 2 quests ever because they became uncompletable after 5 years. So I can't get that trophy without starting the game over completely. I'll live. It's fine. We learned who the Shadow Lord was. Yeah. He's the first Gestalt, I think would be the right term. Which was... And he wants our body, and we know who Yona is in comparison with. I am not actually... Well, you know, honestly, that's a little complicated. Maybe? I think that we are not the villain anymore. The character we played at the beginning of the game is the villain. We are his body waiting for his soul. However, the bodies took on consciousness of their own and started doing things. And the shades are the gestalts, the souls, trying to return to their bodies, which have taken on their own consciousness and don't want another soul to go back into them. And there are no actual humans left on Earth already. We are all supposed to be soulless bodies waiting for the gestalts to come back. And things went wrong. Things went wrong. I would love to know a fun thing about the Japanese versions of this game. Versional differences are very interesting, actually. bitches.
Damn it! Where'd they go? Get him! Don't let him escape!
Oh man.
There's something over there!
So which different character do you play in Replicant? Out of curiosity. And I assume it's not available in English.
Who are you? Military defense robot P-33.
Oh.
You are an intruder. You must be eliminated. Error. There is something leaking from your eyes. What is crying? Who is Mom?
Interesting.
My creator is also dead. He perished hundreds of years ago. "874 years, 10 months, 14 days, 4 hours, and 43 minutes. 44 minutes. I am incapable of being lonely, or missing others, or crying. You will die. Why will they kill you?
Man, we're assholes. Just putting that out there. We're total assholes.
I will not permit the humans to kill Khalil. Military defense robot P-33 will protect you. P-33 is charged with defending others. P-33 will defend Khalil.
Oh, hooray! Thanks, robot. And since we're friends now, I'm gonna call you Beepy. So that's the boss at the end of the dungeon, is the robot carrying that shade. Yep, that's the boss. We're jerks.
There's gotta be tons of machinery here.
Yeah, but I don't know how much we can actually use.
Oh, wow! Check this out! It looks brand new!
Hey, be careful there.
I'm fine.
Oh no.
Huh?
Look out!
This part of the story is full of heartbreak and tragedy, by the way.
No, this can't be happening!
Wow, that was scary.
The noise of the intruders caused the structure to fail. They should have proceeded with more caution. One intruder has perished.
Oh, that's terrible. Ah, interesting. Okay. I don't think they were chasing me. They seem nice.
The junk heap. Perhaps we should speak to the brothers. They might know something about this.
Oh, hello again.
You're the little one, aren't you? You've grown. How fares your brother? My brother. My brother's been dead for 4 years. I see. Please forgive the question. It's okay. Look, I need to ask you something. What is it? You heard any rumors about shades around here? Not the little guys. Looking for one that's unusually big and strong. No, I haven't anything like that, but I haven't really been listening. I just want to destroy robots. Rip them up. Okay. Well, never mind then. Sorry to bug you. Wait. Yes? I recently got my hands on a weapon. Very powerful weapon. That you might get some use out of it. Do we not already have this weapon? We do, by the way, already have this weapon. Shh, these things happened the second time around. This sword has seen better days. Yeah, it's pretty beat up. I mean, there's potential, but it's fairly powerless right now. That's an interesting thing. So the story is pretty much the same. They just change who the protagonist is from brother to father, but otherwise it's basically the same story. Interesting. I imagine NieR. Does NieR look younger in Replicant? I'm glad I had to throw this out. I'm gonna need some memory highlight. NieR looks way younger. I'm about to Google a screenshot, I think. Only the real big enemies on the second base don't have them, so watch yourself. Also, here's the passcode to get down there. Use it on the elevator. You got it. Let's see here. I'm still missing a large gear. Oh man, this game is killing me. By the way, this spear is absurdly good. And I can't wait till I upgrade because it's going to be even better then. So there is a level 4 as well for it. And I need one more titanium for that. And then we'll see what happens, if anything. But this is a medium length dungeon. It's 11:30. I have to work tomorrow. Thank you for stopping by after your nap, Ash. But unfortunately, I think I'm going to stop here for tonight. Oh my god, he's so much younger. Sorry, I have Discord up right there. Jesus. He's so anime. I love it. That's awesome. Anyway, thank you for stopping by. Tomorrow night, some more Baldur's Gate 2. Yeah, and then more of this on Friday. Honestly, depending on exactly what's involved, I might be able to finish playthrough B on Friday completely. I kind of want to see if I can find all the weapons just because. I can't get all the quests, but I would like to get all the weapons to get that trophy. So we'll see what happens. Ciao. Good night.